Thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, I appreciate it. Welcome back everybody to some more EU4 playing as Italy with me, Daniel from Dan Has Fun. How are you doing? We have an interesting decision to make this episode, primarily because two of our prime targets are either ripe for the picking right now or going to be in the near future. What do I mean by that? Well, Austria, the whole reason why we've not been able to attack them is because they are allied to Poland, obviously our ally. But right now, if we were to attack them, Poland will not defend. Mainly because they're quite a lot in debt and the Polish ruler is malevolent, so he just likes to see the whole world burn that's not his. Would be pretty useful because I could get these two provinces for Gascony as I'm annexing it, and therefore we wouldn't have to spend the money on doing it ourselves and the admin points and all that. Unfortunateness, unfortune, terribleness, either way. That's one option. The only real issue with doing that is that it would bring in the Holy Roman Emperor, which by himself is Britain, I mean, who cares? But he's allied to the Dutch, the French, and the Spanish, and none of them independently are any concern. But Spain does have the thick end of 200,000 troops before you even consider their colonies. So between them all, that could be a little bit tricky. The other option on the table is just to wait until the truce timer with Spain runs out. It's only a year and a half away, which will fly by. And if we do that, then we'll probably get Portugal in to help us. But more importantly, we won't have to deal with most of Central Europe. We can war them separately. So both of them have significant merits. I've been umming and ahhing between episodes. The only other thing I've done between episodes, you may have noticed the lack of gold in the top left. Town halls. I've purchased a lot of them because we're over our governing capacity and that leads to problems. The other thing we can do, if we go into our government screen, we could, if we wanted to, spend some admin, some reform points to get governing capacity. I don't really want to do that, though. Primarily because I want to try and keep unlocking the tiers of government down here. There's some pretty good bonuses later, and we're pretty close to getting the next one. So I'm going to try and wait and just spend our way out of the problem for the time being. But yeah, between episodes, I've been really umming and ahhing between which of the two wars we want to do. I think the war against Austria will be more difficult, but it potentially is more helpful. Again, pipe dream, I think, but if we wanted to form the Roman Empire, we need all of Spain's land. Now, actually, we need Portugal's too, but we'll not tell them that. And we need the vast majority of what is now Austrian territory. If we go into our mission screen, oops, like that, hover over it, you can see almost all of the southern remainder of Austria we technically need. So that might be the way we want to go. I haven't really decided yet. Still, we still have to get our troops back from the war with the Ottomans, so we're going to do that first regardless. Open borders with Provence, sure. Let us check on our right side column and see if there's any navies not doing anything. Yep, that's fine, that's fine. Our 50 stack... yeah, it's doing things, it's doing things. Oh no, this one is not, is it? It's just sat in place. Why? Let's get you back protecting trade. Where would you get the most use? Let's put in Alexandria nearby anyway. Seems a nice safe place. We're clearly going to have to keep some troops down in the Middle East because of high rebellion and rebel risk. So I'd rather stay ahead of that rather than having to reactively deal with it. So we'll keep some troops out here. Probably these 3 stacks will do. If Portugal would join against Austria, this would seal the deal for me, but they just won't do it. Austria's just too far away from Portugal for them to justify doing it. And Britain won't do it because they're hopelessly in debt. Having said that, I'm not sure if I would even want them to. They do have bigger colonies, by and large, than the Spanish in North America, but I still think they'd have a hard time dealing with the Spanish West Indies. Whereas Portugal, even if it has some of these rebelling, there's enough here to deal with the Caribbean. Yes, again, we'll continue. We'll wait forwards. We might as well take our big naval stack and see if anything needs upgrading. We will do that and have them coast back. Ever so slowly. That, and 5 ships need upgrading, so we might as well do it. We have 3 of the Ottoman flagships, which is hilarious. Shame they don't still function like flagships, but I guess that's for balance purposes. Then got a couple of provinces of land out of North American native settlements, which is a little bit unfortunate, but what are you going to do? We don't have a peace treaty with France specifically either. That would still bring Spain in, so that's probably not the play. Who else do we not have a peace treaty with at the moment? We don't have it with Brittany, but we don't have a CB either. Everybody else, we don't really have any legitimate reason to be able to attack them. Okay, well, France is an option depending on how the alliance chains work anyway. I highly doubt it, but can I threaten France to break alliances with anybody? Nope, because they hate us. Understandable, given that we are feeding a vassal which is, practically speaking, Aquitaine at this point. In all but name. There's our next level of government reform. Scroll down to tier number 10, the guiding principle of administration. So we can go political principle. It just gives you the option of having another administrative policy. It doesn't make it free. We can have the moral principle, which does the same thing for diplomatic. The defense principle, same thing for military. You may have seen a theme there. Then there's military principle. It tanks your yearly Republican tradition gain, but in return you get less rebellions when you take over new land because it's a reduced years of separatism, and you get more maximum absolutism. Considering we make 1.9 Republican tradition every year, it's more tempting than it normally would be. I don't usually pick it, but it's more tempting than it would typically be. And then we have the principle of enlightenment, which just gives you 10 years of less separatism. This is preferable in my eyes because it's just even less rebels without you having to take the pain of Republican tradition loss. Yeah, you don't get the absolutism, but I think this is a better compromise. And we can do this. Which, well, quite often I don't have the option of doing, so we're going to do it. Means in the future, it's effectively 5 less unrest in every province you take over. It's kind of the practical way that calculation comes out. And I like it. Would have been nice to get that before we took lands off the Ottomans, but what are you going to do? Still haven't really decided what we're going to end up doing. Who are we going to attack? I'm guessing I can't ask Poland to break their alliance with Austria. Even though they don't like each other right now, still won't do it. I'm guessing Austria won't do it. They will not with anybody. And the other thing I noticed between episodes, I didn't act on it, but we can potentially... Well, we could, until I started the recording, as I say, we could ally the Lithuanians, and now we can't. Should have pulled that trigger if I wanted to earlier. It's not really a big deal, though. We very shortly had a very brief window where we could. Now we cannot. It's fine. Bohemia will still willingly ally us, which we're not going to do because they're allied to Russia, and that doesn't work for us. But even though half of Europe hates us and will get into a coalition with us at any time, the other half of Europe loves us. So almost every single nation there will ally us. The Timurids will ally us. Shun will ally us. This is an interesting proposition, because if we were to declare war on Russia at some point, Shun, with its 209,000 troops, would be one heck of a distraction for Russia. The Timurids would be too, but a lot of their land up here is just flat land, which Russia will just take over immediately. This is mountain, but the northern is just flat. Shun would be a potentially interesting ally to have. And even though it'll cost me a Diplo point every month, I'm going to do it before I forget. Because I think that's an absolutely hilarious option to have. Somalian pirates, I guess that's thematically accurate. Just open my drink here while we wait for our ships to heal. Got a nice red ale today. Get that poured. Oh, and Poland and the Ottomans are at peace. What were the conditions? Let's take a look. So the Ottomans, they only have to give, what, one province away and announce their cause on 2 others. 2 war reparations. And hand over a boatload of money they probably don't have. Honestly, for them, that's not too bad at all. For me, that's stinky. And the reason why I say that is because my peace treaty with them lasts until, what, 1696? Yep. Poland's only lasts until 1692, so they can war against them again before I can, unless I want to break treaties, which ideally you don't do. Well, it was kind of expected, really. And they didn't take any province that I really, really want, so it's not the biggest issue. They just took this province here. Not a big deal. We are going to have to pull the trigger at some point, though, otherwise we're going to allow a coalition to form. Poland still won't join in, which is very interesting. Even though they're not in a war with the Ottomans anymore, they still wouldn't do it. I might just have to do this and pull the trigger immediately. I don't have a diplomat, which will not work. We'll wait until our diplomat's back and see if that option is still on the table. It might not be by then. We are going to want to take these 2 stacks of troops, though, and start moving them over here as a precaution. What is our troop limit at the moment? We have space for a little bit more, actually. So, go into land units. Army template. We'll take a 20 stack. I'm just going to form a 20 stack down here just to make sure that if we have any rebels that we have something to cover it. But I'd like those 2 bigger stacks to go over. These 2 are mercenary stacks. That's why they're together right now. Oh, the trial event's fired. I don't mind sacrificing some Republican tradition because we're capped out right now. So for me, that is fine. Shipyards are being built. Beautiful. Thank you. We should start moving, even though they're not fully healed, we should start moving our stack to the Straits of Gibraltar, so that when Spain invariably agrees to join the war, we'll have something to protect ourselves with. I don't even know where that is. Spain declared war on Ngati Ranginui. Easy for me to say. Oh, okay, it's in northern New Zealand. Okay, well, there's nothing we can do about that, so good luck, guys. You will definitely need it. Diplomat's back. Alright, what state of play are we at now? Ah, Poland to join. Yeah, because they paid off a load of their debt from the Ottomans. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, that puts us back to plan B, and that's just to wait until we can declare war on Spain. Not really a big deal, but it would have been nifty. So let's go into speed 4. We're not going to bother drilling because there's not enough time to effectively do it. We do want to take 1 stack and bring it up here to protect our only other stack in northwestern France. Heretics have been cleansed. Beautiful. Let's start converting Rosetta. A place named after the stone, I think. Absenteeism. Given its great influence over the politics of our country, it would be easy to assume that all MPs attended parliamentary sessions with great enthusiasm. This is, however, far from the case. So if we say nothing, we just lose prestige. If we find them, a couple of them get angry, but we get money for it. We'll just say there's nothing we can do. We have capped out prestige as well. Mild irritation, but not really a big deal. Where is the rebel uprising going to be? Okay, like we said, in the Middle East. We'll take a stack, move it down here just so we have a little bit more spread out coverage. Yeah, we're going to see rebellions a lot over here. And we don't have, obviously, a direct land connection to them yet. So we don't want to sell ourselves short and not have an adequate number of troops. Cities demand all rights. I only have 14 reforms, so I'm going to accept their demands. So I don't lose the full 25 complement. And there all of our town halls. Let's see what our governing capacity is now. I can never remember which button is. See smash buttons, do you see it? There we go. Stability and expansion. Okay, so we have a bit of a buffer. We have a buffer of 89, which is not huge. We should probably build a few more of them, in fact. Let's go into our buildings. We need town halls. Go by number of buildings to lowest. Anywhere we have a 0, we already have the less impressive version of that building. So we can do this without taking up another slot, which we're going to do. It's also cheaper, because you already have, you know, the infrastructure at least partially in there. That's what we're going to do. Give ourselves a little bit more buffer, so that if we do end up taking land off Spain, we do have the option, if we want to anyway, of getting it called or stated. Loads more town halls got built. Maybe we have more of a buffer than I thought we were going to have. Oh yeah, look at that. We got more than 250 buffer. That's fantastic. Okay, so let's start getting some of our troops into line. 39k stack can go there. 30k stack can go to Urgel. The 36k stack we're just going to kind of put in no man's land in the middle. These two stacks together are fine. Do have to be a little bit careful because the Dutch have 145,000 troops and no overseas colony. So they're probably going to outnumber us. So really it's just a case of push against Spain, start wrecking things. Then we can come back and deal with northwestern Europe. The 20k stack has been settled. These two ships are out here together, which is dangerous for them, so let's get a few friends for them. So they're not completely isolated. I don't think we need to put our transports anywhere. What Spain should do when this war starts is start trying to siege this area, which I'm going to let them do because it's going to be annoying and slow for them. And then we'll be able to come in and ruin their mainland. We're in March. Oh, another province has been converted to Protestantism. Let's start on Alessandria Negito. Really expensive province to convert, which is very rude. And if we want to, we could get administrative tech level 23, measuring the world. Gives you more admin efficiency. And development cost is cheaper too. So pretty good tech, but we're not going to do it yet because it costs us more than it needs to. And we'll probably want some of these points to core land soon. We're now into April. Let me start slowing the speed back down so we can be fully ready. There we go. I don't know how many of Spain's troops are going to be here. There's a significant chance they have a large number of their troops overseas, which I'm hoping that they do. I'm hoping, but I'm not too optimistic. Portugal has some of their troops overseas, it would appear. But I did not see too many of them, thank goodness. Oh, Portugal wants us to give them least troops. Just out of curiosity, how much are they willing to pay right now? Basically nothing, so good luck with that. And our truce with Spain has now ended. And Burgundy's entered a coalition against us, which surprises quite literally nobody. We don't have a land claim on them. We could have definitely got one if we wanted to, but this land is not high priority for Spain, however, much more so. We're going to bring Portugal in, because they're just going to annoy them, especially in their colonies, because I don't want to deal with their colonies. That's quite a big Moroccan rebellion there, Portugal. I'm glad you're dealing with it. There's the load of Dutch troops, by the way. 56,000 Dutch troops, because they do have land down here. Interesting. So, we would get Spain, all of its colonies, the Knights, Brittany, France, and Cocomes, which is just, yeah, in the Mexican region. And it would be against Portugal and ourselves. Sounds terrible at a glance, but that will be okay. Because only having one claim is mildly disappointing as well. However, that's all you need right now. Okay, so war's declared, and we're going to start smacking one of their trade fleets immediately. I don't know how many troops they have, so we're not going to spread out too aggressively. We can't get to the capital straight away anyway. So we're going to have 2 stacks go and siege and keep the 3rd one in the middle just in case, and have this 4th one come to shield them. Brittany is probably the easiest target to go for immediately, so we're going to do that because they're fort. Yes, it's going to take forever to siege out because it's a level 7 fort, but it's also only on grassland, so it's not particularly dangerous. And we're going to spend our other 2 stacks there with them. Meanwhile, on the eastern side, we're not going to really have any war to contend with. So, for the time being, let's take this 20k stack, put it over there in Constantinople. And then these 2 stacks of mercenaries can come and start wandering over towards France. Gascony's probably going to get its navy wrecked again, but I'm not that concerned about it. And we sunk another flagship. Buy Spanish flagship. We gained 6 ships. 4 trading vessels, 2 transports. Those 2 together I do not want in my death stack of doom. These 2 can go back and heal up. Okay, there are a lot of Spanish troops. So that's what we've been able to find out here pretty quickly. Almost all their troops are, in fact, on the Spanish mainland. A little bit unfortunate. Portugal has no manpower either, which is definitely unfortunate. These 2 stacks need to come protect this one. This is going to suck because we're on a mountain. I'm even tempted to detach the siege amount and then come and protect them as well. Are you military tech 22? You are. Do we want to become Defender of the Faith and get a little bit more army morale? No, we don't because of Denmark. Thanks, Denmark, and being impossible to protect. This is going to be a bit stinky, I suspect. They have slightly more tactics than I do, but I have slightly more morale. So our troops are a very similar strength. Which means the mountain is probably going to be the difference, unfortunately, for us. We just made a ton of money, which is awesome, though. And we just gained a load of our cores. Yeah, there's the remainder of their troops, which means we're going to have to bravely run away, I guess. Yeah, the mercenaries are doing what they need to do. So that element's fine. If they want to start sieging out that province, that's fine. Oh, we were getting a -3 penalty. That's not going to work for anybody. Run away. Anybody that runs down to this province, I'm going to have join with the main stack. Well, I say the main stack, the stack that's still sieging. Or not, we're not going to get a chance to run away. That's very rude. So which stack is here of its own choice? This one? By force march, can I get away? 27th and 28th? No, I cannot. Still going to try. But that's bad news for us. We're also going to have to move our main fleet over and try, if we can, to get that sieged. Our attempt to be aggressive there did not pay off. Yeah, that was a stack wipe. That hurts. That hurts our feelings. It's not that bad, but it's a little bit inconvenient. This means we're going to have to grab a 20 stack and a 20 stack and probably a third 20 stack. And we'll build that into a big pile. And that stack is going to get... see you later, Jimmy. We'll move our war stack back so no other troops can get in, no ships can get in. Yeah, the fact that stack got wiped is of no surprise to anybody. Okay. So, painful as that was, it's not really that big a deal. We are going to wait a tick so we can get some of our morale back. They'll still have to siege out this province of Rossiglione on the hill, so we'll be able to wait. They're now going to run up. Yeah, France is going to retreat because they can see we have stacks in the vicinity that are very dangerous to them. That is also a hill, which I may be able to beat them to without them being able to see me move. So let's see where they go. They theoretically would have to come all the way around their northern point. Did the Dutch not join this war? They didn't. Well, that works for me. No Dutch in this war. Load more town halls, thank you. Austria's in the coalition against us. Again, not a huge surprise there. And yes, their stack's coming towards the east, so we can attack the Brittany stack on the west with reasonable safety. How are the stats in comparison with France? Similar to Spain, but they have more cannons in that stack, so we may have a little bit of a struggle as well. Didn't even realize that fight was going on until it was too late. Anyway, our war against Brittany, our battle against Brittany went fine. That's the wood, so I'd rather not attack them there. No, go this way. Okay, now we're fine. Thank you for joining in, Gascony. It took you long enough to be helpful. We're going to go and siege out Paris. I don't know where this French stack's going. They must be going into Spanish mainland, I guess, when they retreat, because they've gone for a really cautious retreat, which in hindsight is what we should have done. We just didn't. This means we're going to have to be very, very careful when it comes to sieging Navarra or Pyrenees out, purely because the mountains, and we're going to get a horrible penalty. Let's see if we can smack the Brittany stack. No, we're not going to get there in time. Okay. Well, while we're here, we might as well try and de-siege this land. We've already sieged out Paris. That was incredibly quick. Who else in Europe needs to be sieged out? Up north? Really nobody. Okay. Well, we can't split these stacks because they're mercenaries, but we should probably start trying to carpet siege them out as best we can. And then we can bring our mercenaries down to help with these two stacks. And our eventual 60,000's worth of troops down here in Italy. New idea available. We could get more durable ships, but we're not going to do that because we want to get military tech level 23 when it's ready. Definitely not going to do that. This stack should run away before it gets Okay, well, it's going to anyway, so... Trying to be preventative, and it did not work. They were quicker than us. So this time we're not going to try and hang it out. We're just going to run away for now. It's fine. And we'll combine all these stacks together and go back. Not the biggest of deals. And by the time they're all ready, we can move these mercenaries down as well. They have concentrated a lot of troops. Very, very unfortunate for us. It's not disastrous, just a little bit unfortunate. Okay, we finally have those 60,000 troops ready to roll. Where are you guys fleeing to? Okay, so it is the province I selected. Rosetta has finally been converted. Let's get Croya. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Dealt with. Gascony is getting wrecked at sea again. I just need to keep their navy in the dock. I don't know why they keep trying to use it, but they do. We'll start moving our stacks now they have some morale back, because we don't want to get our province sieged. We really don't. And they've seen our troop volume, and they are running away. Have the 15k stack come down to Poitou. You can deal with terrain. Portugal is getting sieged out by Spain, which is... Well, there's two consequences of this that could be quite bad. Just, for some reason, all of Portugal's troops are down here, even though I'm protecting the Straits of Gibraltar and they could come up at any time. They aren't. They're being dumb. The AI's being dumb? Who would believe that? I know, it never happens. Skopje. Oh, there's the rebellion that this stack was initially protecting against. Wow, I have so many military leaders now. Too many military leaders. Let's get some spread out. There we go. I don't know where they're all going, but we're going to start going over to Valencia. That is the war goal, so we want it to start ticking. Netherlands in a coalition against us. That's not a huge surprise. Not in this war, so that's all that matters for me. And once that province... There we go. That province is done. We can start moving our mercenaries now to help us as well. A stack here and leave a stack in between so I can spread these guys out a bit so I don't attrition to death. Let's move our big stack back to the Gulf of Valencia so we can help siege at sea. Did they end up... Oh, no, they didn't even get a chance to fully siege out Skopje, which is definitely not how that's pronounced, but I don't know. I don't have a translation book, I'm sorry. We're trying our best. Just our best isn't very good. Okay, Valencia's sieged out. That was nice and quick. Let's go down to Malaga. It is a mountain, so we have to keep very close eye out. But if we can get this siege, then Portugal can start running their own troops back. Ooh. They have decided to attack us in a big stack. Over in Castellón. Let's not have that happen. We're going to outnumber them this time, surely. And because they're committing so much, let's have our mercenaries try and siege Navarra. Absenteeism again? Just show up. You have the easiest job in the world. Just show up. Oh, we can call an ally in too. I mean, we might as well. Let's call Britain in because we can. Just in case Portugal backs out, at least we'll have another colonial-based nation. We lost a lot of infantry there, but they lost 20,000 artillery, which is gigantic. Where is that stat going? See if we can catch some of them. Yes, we can. because they're going to start trying to siege Tarragona. And hopefully their stack will be the only thing that's going to be a goner. No, they got a chance to run away. Anyway, it's fine. Oh, there's the French stack. I guess we should piece France out while we're at it, huh? What do we want from France? We have a claim. What does our vassal... Oh my word, our vassal does have claims on Paris. I'm tempted to keep feeding our vassal, you know. Yes, it means it's going to take longer to absorb it. But right now, that's the least of our issues. What state is this in? Okay, same as theirs. I wonder... I don't think we'll be able to take all of this. But I'm going to give 4 provinces worth of claims to Gascony and see what France will give us. It would give us 3, and if we take all on A, it gives us a border with Paris. I'm not going to take any money off them, though. I'd rather have a truce timer be earlier to see if I can try and nab Paris. Let's do that. There you go. My vassal gets 3 provinces. Beautiful. And now France looks ridiculously shaped. We'll be able to piece Brittany out soon, and that'll free up 100,000 troops. I'm hoping we can piece out Brittany before they complete the siege of Evora. We should be able to. Oh, that's rude, though. Russia hurt our diplomatic reputation. That only stinks because it's going to slow down our annexation. That's unfortunate. These 2 stacks I'm just going to stand together so I don't get all the attrition at the port. Now, Malaga, I think, is in... Yeah, it is. It's in the Strait of Gibraltar sea zone, so we need to move across. How is the overseas battle going? So all of South America's safe, as we expected. Portuguese Mexico, on the other hand, is not. It is getting sieged out, despite the fact they have 70,000 troops. What on earth are they doing? Oh, they're all over here trying to siege one province they can't siege because they don't have enough troops. Good job. The 13 colonies are going to come save them. Anyway, we'll deal with the rest of this war next episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching it, and if you have, like the video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye now. Thank you for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more, feel free to stick around.